All right, I picked all the cards. I'm going to try to go quickly through it because the other videos were long. Okay, they were like an hour and anyway. So I did Gemini, Libra, and now we're on Aquarius. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start by reading these love cards. Excuse me. And the way you want to address it is like, this is a career reading, so it's like, you can look at it as partnerships, but also look at it as career focus. Okay. So this is part of the series, the war stories. Okay. And we're going to see what comes up. Gemini was like a lot of Uranus energy. And then Libra was like trying to really reflect inside instead of like looking at the outside and pointing the finger. And using the outside world to distract, to not really look at self or outside appearances, right? The physical, and not really going deeper. Okay, and getting rid of blame energy, that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, and then having healthy partnerships within a work dynamic. Okay. And not leaning too much in, it's like healthy balance energy, right? Not leaning too much. It's like just enough, but healthy collaborations and reaching for that. Okay, and moving out of dense energy, which is like practice patterns that weren't unhealthy, that was affecting the physical body. So like moving out of that. Now we're on Aquarius. All right, so we're going to start with these love cards. These are questions that you can ask yourself and how you're moving in love life or work. All right, but this is called war stories. So it could be some things that people are battling in their minds. It could be something that people are battling in the physical realm. Okay, at any rate, let's start. I'm a loving partner who adds value to relationship. What qualities and contributions do you bring into a relationship, whether work or love? I am trustworthy. I value honesty in myself and those around me. Okay, so in your everyday practice, are you practicing honesty? You receive back the honesty you give. How can you be more honest with yourself and with others? Now, there's only one instance that's coming up, that sometimes you have to cloak the truth in when it has to do with a lot of people's lives. Okay. It's not talking about that. This is like everyday practice, like people doing weird things with their energy to justify stealing or coveting or that kind of energy. So take a look at that. And that could affect or demean or lessen the value of you if you're doing those kinds of things. I am trustworthy. I value honesty in myself and those around me. Okay. I am grateful for the lessons that love will bring. Reflect on challenging moments in the past relationships. How have these experiences shaped your understanding of love? Okay. Okay. So this is confirmation that you're on the right path here. I'm on a path of personal growth and maturity, becoming the best version of myself with each day passing. Okay, so for some of you, you've had a paradigm shift in this experience, but you made the right moves here. Imagine your future self as a more mature and evolved individual. What qualities and characteristics do you envision? How can you work towards becoming that person? Okay, with that, I want to say this. I feel like for Aquarians, it's real important to have that childlike wonder, right? That to move the creative energy. And sometimes that's not like wanting to let go of that, and that can be seen from the outside world as immature. But that doesn't mean that you're immature. That's just how a perception. Okay, so consider that. Also, it's like you don't, it's like, what is that story? There's a French story, The Little Prince. There's a French story called The Little Prince. And in that, he complains about how the adults, and that's because you don't want anyone to get in the way of your childlike wonder, right? That's the miracle energy that you can tap into. All right, so I am building a strong foundation for a loving partnership. What qualities and values do you want to prioritize in a future relationship? How can you align your actions with these priorities? Okay, now that was coming up a little bit in the Libra energy as a distortion, but I don't get that here. Okay. All right, now let's keep moving. Okay. Oh, wow, you got the wind card, flow. Be in harmony with the flow. There's no need to overburden yourself. Ride the wings of the wind, especially for those gusts from the southeast. Ooh, that song, Gusts in the Wind. Okay. Relax and be ready for the next surge of energy. You utilize your good timing. End of spring and beginning of summer. Okay. Now, again, there's going to be surprises. There's some people trying to bring in stuff, and that could be like clashes. Okay, so be ready. If you hear of things that they're doing, just be ready, right? You don't have to be, be in a defensive stance, but a healthy defensive stance, and be open-minded and see. Listen more, right, during this retrograde energy. Listen more. Okay. All right, now let's see. Heaven force. The unstoppable power of heaven is here to protect you. The yang energy also symbolizes the sun, fatherhood, and creation. Now you can break through obstacles once too difficult to conquer. Pay attention to northwest, end of fall and beginning of winter. Yeah, it's like, okay, this is like having 360 degrees of vision. Are we one pointed focus so much that we don't see the other 360 degrees? Take a look at that. And like for example, like when they said the world is flat, right? I feel like those who agreed to that was because they couldn't see from different points of perception. It was like a certain degree, and that was it. So we want to have like a 360 view here, Aquarius. Okay. Enact new strategies. Kong Ming. Never employ tactics that have failed you once before. And they were saying that, like when, okay, for example, I go on some other social media sites, which I won't mention, but the men were talking about how people were repeating the same mistakes, and it had to do with using the same tactics every time. Okay, and not making the changes. But then, like, for example, in Ukraine, it's like a leader listened, and then they were able to make the changes and flow with the changes in the wind, right? The gusts of the wind. Okay, the wind energy, and make the change. Okay, so those are the kind of things you want to look at. Are these same tactics working? Are they not working? Can we implement new, right? And this could be in relationship. Am I doing the same thing? Like every Valentine's Day, we go to the same restaurant and take the same, give the same bouquet of flowers from the grocery store, and then expect my lover to give me some sort of Valentine return. Oh, Rooster, you could be dealing with a Gemini. Keep an eye on the Gemini energy. All right. Now, a Gemini can see, right, the twins from one side. If we're talking about opposition, can see from one side and the other side. So it's calling for that here. Okay. All right, now I'll look at all these cards. Oh my God. Am I going to be able to get through all this? Okay, this is the one energy, unity. Okay, unity and union. Okay. Shen Wan Yuan. Do you like my Chinese? Okay, anyway. Refuse to be used. Okay. It says, pull away from your fears and refuse to be a victim. You will never be happy if you don't end the toxic arrangements that imprison you. Right. That's why I was trying to give warnings to people. Love yourself and you deserve better. Sometimes people settle because they think there's no other way. Oh, this little mouse energy is pay attention. Is that a pig or a mouse? Okay, so the pig. Let me see that. Let me see that pig energy. It's more like boar has been showing up. Boar energy. The vase. Oh, I had that one movie show up, and it was like a vase that was being made, but here it's already made. So it's the clay, molding of the clay, and there's some sort of opposition energy that wants to mold it or break it. Okay, now. Okay, so Ace of Wands and Six of Swords. They're moving away from whatever past they're... I feel like they're able to move away, or you've moved away from them to move in a new direction. All right, this is truths reversed. See one. They're still working on letting go of the resistance. There's this resistance energy, okay? And they're working on getting rid of that. If they could get rid of their defensiveness, they would be able to have a transformation. Three of Wands, virtue. Yeah, there's an imbalance. You could be dealing with Libra. I just did that Libra reading. Yeah. Their task is to, if there's opposition energy, their task is to be happier. They're not content with what they have, and so their movement looks funky. It's like thinking that getting over to the other side where the grass is green is better. They're trying to release that kind of cool demeanor. They're reaching for the unconventional. They may be doing funky things around their belief system. There's a lack of love and compassion there. With the air sign, Prince of Swords. But this is reversed. So their actions, wait a minute, let me get this right. Their actions are not that positive in their movement in the physical realm, whoever this is. And it's this lusting energy, coveting energy. It's like they covet what others have. Nine of Swords reverse. Yeah, see, this is like... Now, if this is you, this is saying that you haven't been all that positive. Okay. Because this is a fire energy coming in. Oh, this is like abandoning your support system. Okay, I don't think we want to do that, but take a look at that. Are you abandoning your support system? Okay, take a look at that. There's like... All right, the opposition is they have stuff they have to work through. Okay, if you're worried about the opposition. Okay, their movements haven't been all that positive. That's how you know it would be your story. Okay, now, on your end, you have to be... see, it's like sometimes people will take advantage of a person's giving nature. So if you feel like you've been taken advantage of, you have to address that within your own energy, because if you don't, then that could be carried into other new connections. All right. And we want to move in freeness. Oh my God, this girl doesn't even have a top on. Okay, so that pig was a little opposition energy there. Okay, now what about the mouse? You know how mice can eat away at something. What is there something in thought that is eating away at you? Let's look at the mind cards. All right, let's see. Okay, your word is your wand. Okay, so most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. So this is like fear of the surprises, the Uranus energy. That's what this is coming up as in your reading. Okay, and this is like a little bat and a space rocket. So you're moving in that futuristic energy, which is nice. Sometimes, if a country is reaching for freedom, it's like sometimes they wish that things were the way they were before. And so if that's the case, then you have to show them the future, what that looks like. Okay. And I feel like if you can show them visually, somehow this is like the kaleidoscope. That crystallization can happen. Okay, now this word is your wand. Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. Okay. Now, I'm getting the angry little inch. Okay. Okay, so there could be somebody that practices, has a nervous system that causes them to get triggered and mad all the time. Okay, that's an energy, opposition energy for someone. Okay, now if that's you, how you would know is when you drive, do you get mad real easy? Okay, that's for someone. Now the other one is if you have a parent or parents that you're not content with, right? And you have a practice of getting burned when you get back together with them, or they have a way of making you feel small, right? Mother, father, right? If they have a way of making you feel small, you have to find your way out of that, because that stone that you throw to protect yourself can also show up in the body. So we want to take care of the body. We want to watch the words that we repeat to ourselves. We want to free ourselves from any kind of bondage. Okay, because I feel like the natural progression for Aquarius is freedom, right? Not feeling constrained. Okay. This is the fear, feeling defenseless. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Okay. So now there's a feeling here that the opposition doesn't have love, right? They may not. It's because it's masked with all this other stuff, a practice. But there is love there. It's just a matter of them reaching into it and waking up to it. All right, this is what they're doing. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Okay, and this is what you're doing too. You're seeing the beauty in the past month. You've made some changes, or in 2 months, and they were hard struggles for some of you, even with the fire for some of you. And it's like you're starting to see the beauty of it and starting to see the light. Okay. For some of you, that could have been health things, right? Okay. Mental health even. Okay. All right. So refused to be used. 1 to the 2 to the 3 is like healthy career collaborations. All right. Enact new strategies. Kong Ming. Never employ tactics that have failed you once before. Oh, I already read this. If you are not moving forward, you are not moving backwards. In procrastination, you forfeit opportunities. When your inspiration strikes, act decisively. And it's like, how do you know when to... Okay, let's use the card analogy. When to fold the cards or when to keep playing, right? It's the same. That could have been that could have been their higher self telling you, but it came out in a funky way because they're distorted. All right, now it's never employ tactics that have failed you once before. You are not moving forward. Okay, this is like feeling like, oh, I see what this is saying. Whatever happened in your strategy, right, in war stories here, whatever happened in your strategy was meant to be. And if you had to retract or whether you had to go forward, that was meant to be for that time. It doesn't mean that you can't employ new tactics in a different region or another area, or and stay away from looking at it as a failure. You have to look at it as guidance of showing you what to do next with that wisdom that you gained. How can I assimilate this newfound wisdom from this movement in a direction? All right. So sometimes if we don't move with our impulses, that procrastination, that's when the opportunities seem like they fade away, but they're still there. So when your inspiration strikes, act decisively. That's the gut instinct. Where are the other cards? What happened to those? That's odd. They just disappeared. Okay, so let me pull these cards up. Okay, so this is like past life karmic ties, talking about, I'll tell you what it looks like. You could be dealing with some Pisces energy here, or a Virgo. But what this is past life soulmates. And it's like agreements before you come into this physical realm. Okay, this time you're going to do this. This time you're going to do that. And then we'll try to come together. Okay, sometimes roles are switched. And then, but when they bang it out in the physical reality, like, okay, it's like a pottery, right? It's like a pottery, and you add water to it, and you mold it, and then you burn it, and it can look different or funky along the way. Okay, but those are the building blocks, and we can make the improvement, but we really have to listen more. Okay, and that's the good karma. Okay, and so that is a magnetic attraction that happens, right? It's not to repeat cycles. And I feel like some people are, and that needs to be addressed. Okay, what can we do differently? We know we're soulmates from a past life, right? We've had many wars together. This could be family or wars or mind, right? What can we do to change that and bring in the light, the alignment? How can I harmonize with my polar opposite energy, Leo? You could connect to a Leo or a Virgo. Am I moving with the energy that assists? Right? If I am, do I trust it? If I don't, that might be my guidance to go in a different direction. Now, this is the mercurial energy. Mercury. Okay. And so how am I communicating to bring in healing for the world view, for everyone, right? The larger human story. How am I bringing the words that bring in the harmony, the union, right? And sometimes people are unwilling to change. And if they're unwilling to change, you have to pivot. Yeah, this is alignment, sun and the moon. Okay. Some wonderful things can happen, right? Oh, Leo's coming back out. Okay. So looking at your shadow self. Woo, moving with the wind. It says wind twice. Oh my God. Okay. Air. So this is alignment. This is I feel like you're on track here. Okay. And it might be, again, if we're talking about this could be like, not just shadow, but Pluto energy. And trying to, I feel like Pluto's on your side here, Aquarius, if that energy is being expressed. Continue moving in healing modalities for yourself. And through that practice, it can be reflected in the world. Okay, and then Leo energy. This is like finding a healthy ego to move with. Am I humble? Is my ego in check?